tea? What's the 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 tea?
Hello everyone, I am the Waterberry and welcome back to the Waterberry's Tea. And in this video we are talking about 2020, okay? Here is the tea about 2020, okay? Lots of tea there. Because this is, we're starting a whole new decade, but this is major. This is not, don't even think this is a new decade we're starting, because that's even major. You know, every time we shift new decades, energy shifts. We are in such faded energy right now, okay? It's talked about in every ancient civilization. You know, I've heard, and so many people, spiritualists, talk about many souls have been incarnated at this time for this moment, okay? This is major. Not only earth history is going on, spiritual history. This is like a major turning point in consciousness, okay? You can feel it. This is very faded energy. 2019 is really wrapping up major timelines for us, where everyone I know, you know, is in situations that they've been in for a long time, or they're wrapping up situations that they've been in for a long time, or certain patterns, certain mental patterns, or certain karmic situations are somehow back, that came back this year. And it's like we've been dealing with certain patterns that have been affecting us our entire lives, okay? Working to heal certain things, working to gain a new understanding, have a new awareness. You know, I feel like myself, I finally have a full awareness of, and I'm sure, again, when I say full, life is constantly expanding, okay? So of course I don't know the full. I'm never going to know the full. But I have such a new understanding of myself, my childhood, and an awareness of it now. You know what I'm saying? Of the truth of what was really going on, and not just memories of what I thought was going on, you know? And so that came through this past 10 years, and especially in 2019. You know, certain patterns of myself, you know, finding acceptance for yourself, your full self, you know, certain patterns, and knowing, okay, this is just something that happens because of, you know, the environment I was raised in, and what I learned to, how I learned to cope with that. You know, certain patterns, or when I'm frustrated, or when I'm, you know, trying to control a situation, instead of me beating myself up, now I know, hey, this is just past patterning coming back. This is just a part of myself that comes out when certain situations come up and are triggered. Let me find compassion for it and let me work through this, okay? There's just so much that's come. It's like a self-mastery that's been our focus last year mainly, but you could start to see that development the past 10 years, okay? And now that we're entering 2020, there's a lot I want to share about, and a lot of significance in this. So stay tuned. Here we go, okay? Let's look at the number. We're going to do a lot of numerology in this. Look at the number of 2020, okay? 2020, all right? It's mirrored. It's mirrored energy. And 20 is repeated how many times? Twice, okay? And so we're seeing three understandings, three correlations of the energy of 2, okay? You have 2020. You have the mirror understanding of, you know, 20 and 20, but you also have it's 2 and 2, okay? You're seeing 2 20s. It's 2 energy we're working with the entire time. There's 2 2s, 2 zeros. So you see all of this 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. There's so much 2 energy, okay? And there's a triplicity of 2 energy. It's happening in a triple like layer, because, you know, everything, basically everything works as a fractal system. I have a whole video deep in my playlist about fractals and how everything is like a mirror of everything else, and we're smaller expansions of the bigger expansion, you know what I'm saying? And so that's what you can see in 2020. It fits the literal theme of life, okay? how something repeats and is repeated within itself. You get what I'm saying? The tree of life and the flower of life looks exactly, not the tree of life, the flower of life looks exactly like multiple cells regenerating. Do you get what I'm saying? The pine cone, you can see that shape. You really see everything in life. My veins look very similar to lots of things in nature. You get what I'm saying? And so everything is a reflection, okay? And so you can see in 2020, there's a reflection of 3. Now, an astrologer I follow, in their video talking about 2020, they brought this point, and I really love them bringing this up, about the divine feminine and how the divine feminine rules over the energy of 2. Okay, and if you really go deep into the divine feminine and the goddess energy, the triple goddess theme, okay, how you have, it's like the 3 phases of the moon, you know what I'm saying? The maiden, the mother, and the crone, okay? And you can look more into that. But that's what you see. Notice I said the 3 is a triplicity of 2s in 2020, okay? So everything you're seeing is a representation of the divine feminine, okay? And that's going to be the main theme for 2020, is this bringing back this rising up of the divine feminine, okay? And the astrologer, she made that point about, she connected the triple goddess theme to 2020 and just the understanding of the divine feminine. And I was like, okay, I love that, And so you're going to see this increase in 2020, because this 2020, we're entering into the 2020s, okay, 2021, 2022. So this theme is going to be the next 10 years of this divine feminine, this influx in this development of, feminine energy, okay? And when I say feminine energy, again, I'm not saying just solely women, okay? Because you can see in so many different aspects of nature, everything has both poles, masculine and feminine, okay? And every being has an opportunity to be more feminine or an opportunity to be more masculine or working on balance in each lifetime, okay? And dependent on your chart, depending on what you feel inside, I have a lot of feminine energy, okay? Even though I am a man, you get what I'm saying? But I think a lot of my purpose is here to work on understanding the balance of masculinity and being in this male body, but also having lots of feminine characteristics and being a nurturer, being a spiritual person. I'm not saying everybody's spiritual, but like being a healer, you know what I'm saying? This is a very more feminine-based, spirituality is feminine, okay? And so working on that polarity. But every being has that balance. And so we're looking at the divine feminine energies increase. I'm not just saying you're going to see boosts in women. Now that's true, okay? Because when you look at the moon, which rules over the divine feminine energy, this is now 10 years of the moon, okay? The sun is one energy, all right? The magician. This is what the last millennium was, okay? Because we also noticed, I kind of jumped ahead of myself a little bit. When we started to the 2000s, that's an entire millennium of the divine feminine. But each section within kind of has its own lessons, okay? And before that, 1900s, 1800s, 1700s, that all started with 1. And this is masculine energy. This is about me, 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 me. How can I manifest? How can I take action, drive, passion, get her done? This is where we're at now and why we're working on shedding things. But this is patriarchy. This is, man is the center of the home. This is taking action. This is, using what you have and getting it done, kind of like, it's like, how can I manifest what I want, okay? And now what we're entering into is the high priestess, which is the 2, the feminine energy, which still is about manifestation, still is about connection to spirit, but it's in she's seated. He's standing, taking action. She's receptive. Notice the moon. He's lit with the sun in the back. Okay, so all of the past, from 1100s, this is really when you're looking at, when you're connecting the dots, the age of Pisces, okay, which started literally 0 AD, after death, that kind of thing you're thinking about. All of that energy, okay, because even though that's a 0, you started with the 0, you don't have the thousands yet. It's still within the energy of the start, the initiative, which is masculine. We haven't gotten into 2 energy yet until now, the 2000s, okay, which is the divine feminine's energy, okay. So the first 2000 to 2010 was about the initiation seeing a switch in energy. And you really did see a switch in energy, okay? The moon also rules women, but also rules minorities and the collective, okay, the people. So notice the internet boomed coming into the 2000s, and that has been the main way we have connected to each other as the people. There has been representation through the internet, especially, of minorities, whether that be body size minorities, whether that be race minorities, whether that be sexuality minorities, whatever it is, there's been connection and understanding. A lot of, me when I was working on and figuring out my sexuality, I did a lot of research online. I watched a lot of forums. I watched a lot of videos of people. I connected in ways when I was at USC and in my first year there. I was part of the LGBTQ club community, so I could be around other people like me and understand. I took LGBT studies, and we did a lot of research using the internet. All these things would not have been possible, and all that connected. You know what I'm saying? Think about starting really booming in the 2000s. All of the chat rooms and all that kind of stuff, really getting people connected. Because before that, it was just your surroundings. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you could call people on the phone, but if you didn't, who were you calling? If you didn't know who they were, you know what I'm saying? But now we have the internet, which connects the people. Okay, and again, y'all know I can find lots of examples, so I'm gonna try to keep it moving. But you saw the initiation of the divine feminine. Okay, now initiations are not always beautiful. Okay, we know that in life. Okay, when you really first start something, it's difficult as hell. So notice all of the violence that's been put on women, violence that's been put on minorities, and I think the 2000s showed the representation of that. Okay, like, yes, they could mass produce. Oh my gosh, y'all, dang, the siren there, the train, like, come on. If you watch my videos a lot, you know how I get distracted by the sounds around me and how it frustrates me. So just know, it's all good. It's all good. But, the 2000s really started to why is it, that's the highway, but this is taking a minute for them to get by. It must be multiple. Something's going on. Okay. But you saw the initiative, and you saw the, main awareness starting to come out of all of the, issues going around with women. There's been so much post about for women in the past 20 years how to defend yourself in new ways. Just, you get what I'm saying. There's so much upliftment. I'm not going to sit here and give like 20 examples because I think it's you can look around and see. Okay. Then we got into the 2010s, the past 10 years, what we're wrapping up, which is you got the 2 energy, but now you got this 1, tens. So it's like you're trying to move forward in the 20s, but you're still looking at the past, the 10s. So this past 2010, this past 10 years was trying to embrace more of your feminine energy and seeing more embracing of the divine feminine in the collective, more embracing of more feminine people in places of authority. Okay, not only just women, but there's been a lot more LGBT, spokespeople, or if that makes any sense, people that you can see on TV who are gay. Okay, that was not a thing before the 2000s much. Okay, maybe like Ellen, but I don't even know if she came out before the 2000s. You know what I'm saying? But it's rare. Okay, but now you're starting to see. I remember the first gay sitcom that came out. It was The New Neighbors, I think it was the name, and it only lasted 1 season. Okay. And so I just remember the development of it because, hello, what am I, And so I was looking for that representation growing up. But now you can see so much, representation. I literally was watching like a child's, I think it was Nickelodeon or maybe Disney Channel with my sister, my younger sister, and there's gay characters. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, this is a great representation. And that would not have been when I grew up, in the 1990s, And so you're seeing in the 2010s, this progression into the 20 energy, the divine feminine energy, but now you're stuck with looking at the past as well, from the past 1900s, 1800s, 1700s of structures. So this past 10 years was a battle within yourself and also in society of how to, it's not about fully abandoning one or the other. That's why the numbers, you keep adding the numbers, okay? You don't keep replacing, you don't get 1, and you wouldn't have 2, you would, I don't know, it doesn't even make sense, but you constantly, it's about development and incorporating. That's why certain astrologers like to say the South Node is evil, but I'm like, no planet, no aspect is bad. Yes, it may be difficult but it's all for a betterment. It's all about incorporating things. Okay, you can't go anywhere. My South Node is in Gemini, my communication. If I fully went to my North Node, you wouldn't get all this communication. You wouldn't get all of my, you wouldn't have any of the communication in my writing and stuff. That's my past. That's what I have to use. Okay, but it's about taking and filtering through, which is why we moved into the age of Aquarius, about innovating. Innovating is not always creating something completely out of nowhere, because if you really know about invention, nothing is truly original. Everything kind of comes from a little bit of something before. Okay, and so it's this incorporation. And so we're moving into, in the past 2010s, it was a lot about incorporating the good aspects of the divine masculine, but seeing the terrible aspects as well. Notice the past 10 years how many men or masculine energy has been called out. You didn't see a lot of divine feminine energies being called out the past 10 years. It's a lot of men and masculine energies being called out. A lot of people in high authorities being called out. A lot of businesses, which is masculine. Okay, big businesses ruling over the people, which is the feminine. Okay, not the other way around. The people being the business. Okay, which is what we're moving into. People being their own business, okay, which is the divine feminine, but it's like this rulership energy, which is the masculine. You're seeing these rulers and these people of, these big structures coming down. You can check out my Pluto slaves big business video I made about that, okay? So this is what you're seeing. So now we're entering into 2020, which is it's the divine feminine mirrored. So now you're going to see this embrace of the divine feminine and major shedding of this masculine energy, okay? 2020 also, so 2 is again about balance, about femininity, mirroring spirits, because 2 is a relationship, because now you have, with 1 it's just 1, but 2 there's something else. So it's always, there's a relationship between me and this water bottle, there's a relationship between me and this crystal, because it's 2, okay? So that's 2020, major focus on relationships. 2010 gave us that focus on relationships, and the 2000s as well, but it was with the 1. So it was like you working on understanding yourself in relationships, mainly in the past 10 years, okay? You shedding away certain relationships that do not honor yourself in the past 10 years. And now it's about embracing relationships and partnerships and meeting with other partnerships. So it's a colliding, and it's a meeting of big groups, okay? A connection of big, families, new connections of families, new connections of groups and networks, okay, this next 10 years, okay? And spirit is one of those relationships. It's the spiritual, the physical life, us here, and then the connection with the spiritual. Our physical selves connected with our spiritual self. So this is also what you're seeing major, in the past 2010, I opened up and came into my spiritual awakening. That happened for the majority of people. And so this next, you're really going to see that influence as we get into 2020, because this is going to be 10 years of this spiritual connection, okay, in a more heightened place. And when you look at what I'm going to get into some of the transits that's happening this year, and it's crazy the synchronicities that are happening. There are 2 major occurrences, major things. One is a solar eclipse. Another one is Jupiter meeting with Saturn at the start of Aquarius, initiating the beginning of the age of Aquarius and the beginning of the planning for it on the solstice days, on the summer solstice and the winter solstice of 2020. There's major events. It's all aligned, and that is spiritual. A synchronicity is spirit. Okay, so that's a lot of the 2 energy I wanted to talk about. Main connection there. So you're going to be seeing the next 10 years, especially by this 20. And also, 2020, once you add it up, is a 4. A 4-year we're going into. And what is the 4? The Emperor. 4 is about structures. 4 is about, notice 4 sides. You create stability with 4s. 4 pegs on a chair. You can build its foundation. Okay, is 4. So 2020 is now about creating, what is your foundation? Where do you want to be seated moving forward? What throne do you want for yourself? Who do you want to be around? You know what I'm saying? Notice both energies that deal with 2s, they're seated. It's about your grounding, your foundation. Okay? Here, the 1, he's standing because he's trying to manifest his foundation. He's not there yet. Okay? He's manifesting it. But now it's this work on foundation and stability. So you're going to see in 2020, the last time this happened was in 2011. Okay, this 4 energy. So that was the last 2 energy we had. 2011, what new structures did you have for yourself? In 2011, I went to college for the first time. I left the house for the first time. That was structuring a new structure, and that really started all that you see now. That like is a major turning point. So 2020, I can see there's a major turning point happening again in my life this next year. There's going to be major new structures coming in. Okay, so where were you 2011? What were you focused on? The world in 2011 was very focused. It was a very strong energy of people trying to get their life together. Okay, and so making major choices. Okay, and so in 2020, this is going to be the same energy. You're going to see people really trying to figure things out. Okay, 3 energy is the Empress energy, about embracing and understanding your self-value and connecting with others and being out in nature and focusing on beauty and abundance. And so now you know more about yourself because of 2019. You've embraced more about yourself because of 2019. Now it's about what are you structuring? Who do you want to structure with as well? There's been so much relationship shedding happening, but now this next 10 years is going to be reconnecting. Okay, so that's all the numerology I want to talk about. Okay, I'm also making a January 2020 video to talk about the month of January, so you can look at that video as well for the numerology understanding of January, okay, and how that'll affect you. But now I want to get into the big scale of 2020. Okay, the next 10 years are going to bring major introductions into the age of Aquarius. Okay, I'm big on the age of Aquarius. Is like the whole point I'm here. I feel like I have 5 energies in Aquarius. Okay, just a lot. Okay, and I'm the water bearer. Like, come on, And when I talk about the age of Aquarius, you can watch it on I made a whole video presentation about it on my profile page on YouTube to learn more about it. But what I want to let you know about age of Aquarius, a lot of people are thinking that the age of Aquarius is this like instant thing we're going to be moving into this next 10 years. Like, age of Aquarius is coming, it's everything, all the structure is going to be torn down. Yes, that's coming in time. But spirit works in time. There could be major shifts, but this is a major, major, major thing. We're moving out thousands of years of karma and moving into a new situation. And Aquarius is about taking the old and reinventing it. Okay, I can see if we were moving to oh, hello, Mr. Ladybug or Miss Ladybug. Thank you for your luck and blessings. Yes. I could see if we were moving to the age of Aries. That could be more instant because Aries is the first start. Aries is going on. Aries is let's go. Aquarius is like, okay, it's ruled by Saturn. That's the ancient ruler of it. So it's like, yes, surprise. It is Uranus. Yes, shifting and sudden surprises. But it's for slow growth. Okay, and so this age of Aquarius, yes, we're going to be seeing major introductions into it. I talked about this in the video with first Saturn moving into Aquarius. Saturn is about restructuring. So for him to move into Aquarius, it's time to restructure in the energies of Aquarius. Okay, this hasn't happened since I was born. Okay, back in started in 1992, 1993. Okay, and now there's a hawk right there. This is just beautiful spiritual connections. I'm loving the spirit animals around. Okay, the hawk was the first spirit animal that in my spirit animal deck, I pulled. I asked what was my spirit animal energy, and I got the hawk. Anytime I see the hawk, I'm like, oh, hey, spirit animal. But regardless, I'll be getting my tangents a little bit. And so this next 10 years, we're seeing Saturn beginning the new structures of the Aquarius age, okay? And beginning new structures, Saturn, if you know anything about Saturn and how it affects you, I have Saturn conjunct my Mercury. Okay, so Saturn is all up in my life. And so it's planning. What is the plan? Okay, everything you see in the Water Bear started, even my weeklies. Look, this is when I first began the weeklies, how I wanted them to be. This is an old notebook. What are the structures? You get what I'm saying? What are the plans? You're not just initiating in nothingness. You get what I'm saying? It's not about radical tearing things down, tyrannical, no. That's not what's going to happen in this new age. Yes, there's going to be structures tearing down, but you're going to see it be filtered through in a certain way, okay? Because as an Aquarius, when you're a baby Aquarius, or it is that kind of instant change and sudden shakeups. But through life, I've learned as an Aquarius and a lot of other Aquarians as well, trying to get true freedom without limitation is not possible. True freedom and thinking you have true freedom, no one can tell me anything. I can do anything I want. Full possibility actually brings chaos. You need some limitations. You need some rules. You need some structures to be able to withstand. Okay, and so this is gonna be a time of creating new structures and seeing them slowly kind of be incorporated. So we're gonna see, yes, it's the age of Aquarius beginning, but I'm not saying we're gonna be living in flying cars and everything green and utopian energy in the next 10 years. That's Okay, this is the time. This is what we're moving to. Okay, so this is going to take time. But in this next 10 years, Saturn's going to move into Pluto. I mean, into Aquarius. Okay, all up through Aquarius. In this next 10 years as well, Pluto. This is the main one. Pluto moves into Aquarius in 2024. Okay, and this is the time right after the millennials have finished their Saturn returns and are now pushing all of them and are now gaining the power and fully are mature. Saturn return gives you full, okay, you're mature, you can now get it with the world. You can now have your power. Not saying you can't get power, you can't get authority and things before your Saturn return, but it just shows me that by the time Pluto moves into Aquarius, all the millennials will have gone through that transit. So we will be in our main path, okay? And our path is here to be the bringers in of the age and the tearers down of the old, okay? So you're gonna start to see that in the next 10 years, major shifts, okay? And Pluto is about rebirth and transformation. So in Aquarius, it's this rebirth thing of the Aquarian age, okay, coming in. And what else is happening in 2020 is there's major falls that are going to be occurring in the past things, okay? You're starting to see a lot of these big malls kind of going out, unless it's a popular mall. There's a lot of like strip malls and stuff just closing, okay? A lot of outdoor stores going online. Online is the internet ruled by Aquarius, okay? Age of Aquarius moving online more. You're starting to see big businesses go away and more small businesses come back. And if you think about it, all this new issue we're having really came about in the last 100, 200 years, okay? All the plastic inventions, there was not plastic 200 years ago, okay? Or if there was, it was not a lot, okay? All the technology we have, there was not technology like this 200 years ago, okay? And so before that, for the past thousands and thousands of years, humans were just doing things chilling, normal. There were small businesses. It's recently that we kind of got a little off, okay? And so we're going to go back to small businesses being the main things. Everybody doing what they're good at, okay? But then incorporating the massive structures that we did create, though there's benefit that came from the technological age. There's benefit that came from all this massive booming in production. We can use that mass production and use it for more innovative ways, for higher ways of a higher understanding, okay, which is going to be Aquarius. Using the old, but taking it up. Uranus is the only planet which rules over Aquarius that rotates on its side, okay, about going to the bottom, but it's always about ascension. That's why Uranus rules the heavens, okay? Uranus is the sky god, okay? Aquarians is all about the future. I'm always in the future, okay? Planning for the future, planning for the future. This is in the sky coming to me. It's about inspiration coming from the skies, okay? So we're going to move into that, a higher awareness, but through using the old, okay? So that's the big scale the next 20 years, okay? Bringing into the age of Aquarius. What's also going to be happening this next 20 years, 20 years, the 2020's got me saying 20. Neptune is going to leave Pisces where he is. He rules over Pisces, very strong there. And this past transit, we're in the middle of it. Neptune in Pisces is about reawakening the spiritual, okay? And so many people, I woke up, you could say, with Neptune and Pisces transit, a lot of people, the majority of us, okay? But what's going to happen is Neptune's going to move into Aries in this next 10 years. And Aries is the start of the zodiac. So for Neptune, the planet of spirituality, to leave Pisces, the last sign, and move into Aries and restart the zodiac, okay? This is a restart in the spiritual, a new initiation of the spiritual. And this is, again, pushing us into not only the age of Aquarius, but what I talked about for the first 10 minutes. The two energy, the spiritual energy, the feminine energy. Okay, so you see all of this coming in. Okay, a lot's happening in 2020. Okay, in the 2020s. Okay, now looking at the last part I want to talk about is the astrology. Okay, really emphasizing the part of astrology for 2020. Okay, so more just looking into for this year, right? We start the year in the middle of an eclipse season, which is like, okay, because on the morning of the 26th of December, we had that solar eclipse in Capricorn. Check out my eclipse video I made for that, okay? There will be 3 lunar eclipses this year, okay? And lunar eclipses represent the moon's energy. Solar eclipses is the sun being wiped and cleaned. The moon gets this clearing. There's going to be a clearing of the moon, which is, again, the divine feminine, okay? Our emotional state, okay? 3 culminations of the divine feminine this year, okay? That is rare. This happened again, I think in 2017 there was 3. There was more eclipses, like 6 eclipses instead of 4. Usually you have 4 eclipses a year. We're having 5 eclipses in 2020 with 3 lunar eclipses, three culminations. Okay, so a lot's going to be coming out. A lot's going to be, it's about fruition, about, getting things done, about seeing the results of the past 10 years, about growth, about realization this year. Okay, the solar eclipse that's happening, there's more than one, but there will be a solar eclipse on the summer solstice at 0 degrees of Cancer. Okay, major faded times, a lot of new initiatives happening. In 0 degrees of Cancer, Cancer is ruled by the moon. Okay, that is the divine feminine. Okay, so on the summer solstice, where the sun's at the top of the sky, you're having this initiation, this new beginning of the sun, this wiping of the sun, clearing of this sun energy, this masculine energy, in the sign of Cancer. We had this before the solar eclipse in Cancer, July the 3rd, where the moon passed in front of the sun, cleared the sun, and the moon was in her ruling energy of Cancer, so it was like the divine feminine covering up the masculine. This is happening again on the summer solstice, but this is even more pivotal because the summer solstice is the point of the highest peak of the sun. So at the top of the point of the sun, the masculine energy, the moon, the feminine, comes in front of it. Do you think the sun, they don't beef like that, okay? But do you understand that that's a major move for the divine feminine, okay? All these years of the masculine ruling, and at the top peak of the masculine, you see the feminine coming in, okay? And notice, and that kind of even peeped some tea just now for me. I feel like I saw a smile from spirit in my mind's eye. Think about that. We're right now in the craziest place I've seen in society, but it's because of the over masculinization, the over energy of the masculine. And think about it, at the summer solstice, that's the highest peak of the sun, the hottest days, and the moon's crossing in front. So at the hottest days of the divine masculine, where we're at right now, you're going to see the moon cross in front. So this next 10 years, and especially in 2020, there's going to be not a tear down of the masculine first, but you're going to see the feminine energies come in front of the masculine as they're already up there. Okay, so this is interesting. Okay, I'm interested to see how that's going to happen. How the divine feminine is literally just going to just come right on in front. And this is the minorities. This is women. This is the people. Okay, just fully coming in front and wiping and clearing this masculine energy. So wow. So that's all happening this year in 2020. Also, we have a Venus retrograde. And what is the planet of the feminine? Venus. Okay, you got the moon and Venus, all right? Venus is having a retrograde this year. In Gemini, about our minds, so a major reworking of our minds and how we communicate the divine feminine. Okay, so major wiping of that as the North Node moves into Gemini in 2020 and leaves Cancer, because we have also had the North Node in Cancer since November of 2018, which is Cancer, again, the divine feminine. The North Node is where your soul is pulling you, the faded point of ascension. In Cancer since November 2018, so this is why you've seen all this embrace of the feminine. But it's going to move into Gemini about, North Node in Gemini is like, test the waters and get new minds. Rework your thoughts. The South Node will be in Sagittarius of your beliefs. Shut away your old beliefs. There's a lot of old beliefs, old religions, all that's you're going to see a lot of shedding of that, okay? A lot of truth coming out about the past religions and how they are restrictive, okay? And if you know my channel, I'm a major talker of, because I'm an Aquarius, using the old for the new. I grew up Southern Baptist, okay? And I still use that. I have not abandoned that, okay? But I know that there are aspects of that religion that I do not resonate with, or a lot of religions, Abrahamic especially. But there's beauty. They were initiated in beauty, I believe, okay? That started pure. Now, did it stay pure? No, okay? But I still use lots of Bible verses, lots of references and stories from the Bible that I grew up with, because they still tell stories of life, okay? Now, do I use them to patronize others? No. But it's using those stories, the past, and working to innovate it in some new way. I love sharing about how all the religions are connected. Okay, there's so much battle in the past between religions. We are all telling the same stories, okay? Really, if you follow my channel, I share this all the time, okay? Especially on my IG stories, all right? About the connectivity of religions and how they're all really talking about astrology on the real. If you want more tea about that, you can message me. You can get a reading and we'll talk about that. I can spill some tea about that, or you can look it up. You know what I'm saying? It's all there, okay? So, in the lies and deceit of the past, it's using that and moving into something new, okay? And so the South Node in Sagittarius is going to be showing us that. And the North Node in Gemini is going to be us, the collective. This is going to be the time when the collective, because yes, astrology and things have been building, but there's the majority still laugh at astrology. The majority still don't understand astrology. The majority still see it as something small, like, oh, I know my sun sign, but it's just cute. I'll look at my horoscope every once in a while and don't see the full impact of all that it is. Astrology is the reflection of life. Okay, so come on. And so people are going to be learning. Okay, because you're having this North Node in Gemini as the millennials are getting into power, expressing like, what am I doing? I'm talking and communicating this age. Okay, and so you're going to see people doing that more, and they're going to be listening more because the North Node's in Gemini, opening their minds. Okay, I know someone that was close to me last year, very fated attraction kind of thing, and he had his South Node in Sag, North Node in Gemini. Okay, and my South Node's in Gemini, North Node in Sag, so we were that kind of opposites, which is very karmic. If you have someone in your life like that where you have opposite nodes, it's very karmic. Okay, because you're helping each other. Your past is helping their future, and their past is helping your future. Okay, he helped me to build strong beliefs because he had very strong beliefs. He was kind of like he always said, I don't want to be too preachy. Okay, and I was always, in the past especially, oh, it is what it is. I can understand your perspective, but I never had my own beliefs strong. Okay, and now I've developed a very strong sense of what I believe. But this year, my solar return was on my North Node. Okay, so helping me with my beliefs. But what he was learning in his entire life was embracing new understandings. When I was talking to him about astrology, it was difficult for him at first, especially, to understand it, okay, or to even believe in it. But as the relationship continued until, it reached its resolution, he started to kind of question and really open his mind to astrology in a new way, okay? And so this is what society is going to be doing, opening their minds, okay, in 2020. As we have this Venus retrograde in Gemini, the sign that the North Node will be. Okay, so this is a lot there. Jupiter not only Saturn and Pluto will conjunct in 2020, which is major, which is happening in January as well. Pluto and Jupiter will conjunct 3 times in 2020, okay? And anything that touches Pluto dies and has a rebirth. So we're having this death and rebirth of Saturn, which hasn't happened since the 80s, which I talked about in a past video, okay? It's my video about like 30 years gone, 30 years coming, something like that. Check that out. Jupiter will be getting the same death and rebirth for this in 2020, for the next 12 years, okay? And this death and rebirth is, again, in Jupiter things, in beliefs, in religions, in, certain dogmas, in practices, in our faith, and in what we teach, in learning, okay? So you're going to see this wipe out and clearing of lots of old structures in that way, and seeing new teachers come up, new gurus come up, and old people that we once followed, false prophets, because notice where we are. Not saying everybody we've been following is false prophet, that's not true. But a lot of people in power now are speaking things that are making people worse, off in life, and they don't have good characters, okay? So you're going to see, starting especially in 2020, new gurus coming to power, okay, to begin teaching and helping people open their minds, okay? So a lot of things are happening in 2020. From August to December, we're having a Mars retrograde as well, which is a masculine energy in Aries, the ruler of Mars. So Mars, the masculine energy, is having a reworking as well as the feminine, okay, because Venus is retrograde as well in 2020. The Mars retrograde, Mars will be in Aries for 6 months in 2020, okay? Then basically, or is it 8 months? It's a long ass time, okay? And that is us really reinventing our masculine energy, okay? That's happening from August to December. And also as well, Saturn will be entering Aquarius twice. Okay, he goes in March and then kind of retrogrades back out and goes finally in December. And will fully begin the structuring of the age of Aquarius. Okay? And the second time he goes in, he is going to conjunct Jupiter at the start of Aquarius. And Jupiter and Saturn will move into Aquarius together. Okay, so the structuring you're going to see, and not only a structuring of the age of Aquarius, but this is why this is pivotal. Saturn moves into Aquarius every 30 years. And we don't see this new age of Aquarius start every 30 years, no. But with Jupiter being there, the planet of expansion, the planet of truth, the planet of teaching, okay, we're going to be seeing the new structures that are going to be taught in the age of Aquarius, okay, you get what I'm saying? This is why this is pivotal. This is very pivotal. And this is happening on the day of the winter solstice, on the day of the winter solstice, Saturn moves into Aquarius for the last time. Okay, and he will stay in Aquarius. He will not go back into Capricorn. And Jupiter will move in there with him on the winter solstice. Like, and that's 2020, y'all. It's insane. I didn't even expect this video to be this long. I thought it was going to be really quick. But there's a lot going on. So let people know. Okay, I don't really like to share my videos. But look, share this video to people that are interested in astrology, numerology. And if they're not, even if they're questioning, what's 2020 going to be like? Check out the video. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in, my loves. If you have not liked this video, go ahead and give it a like. Helps me out. If you want to comment, let me know what's going on. Okay, anything you resonated with, comment below. I'd love to connect, for real. Okay, again, services are still live, but my website is not live. Okay, my website will be coming back in January. Right, doing lots of redoing of things. I want to get all my full services onto my website where you can see videos on my website and everything. Okay, because in 2020s as well, I think that YouTube, all these other platforms may do some shifting. Okay, what else would I want to say? So yeah, if you want a personal session, I'm always here, but you're gonna have to email and reach out to me. I have pictures and everything of my services, so I can always, contact with you. That's what everybody's been doing thus far. Website will be back in January though. Yeah, again, this is the wrap up. One of my last videos for 2019 and this decade. Okay, I started the Water Bear this decade, so thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for linking up with me. Thank you so much for listening to me and following me and being a part of the community. You know what I'm saying? The spiritual community. This is not just me sharing things, but I've connected to so many people since starting the Water Bear, and I'm seeing how I'm creating a new family in a way. I really feel connected to you guys and connected to other people I meet. So that's what I have. Thank you so much. Let's go with 2020. I'm excited for it. Notice I do the 2020. This is always what I'm 2020. Okay. Much love, guys.